Did y'all hear that? Crispiest chicken fried steak in the world, and I'm gonna show you how to get it that way. But also, we're gonna change it up just a little. We're gonna top it with some green chili gravy. Ooh-wee, don't get no better than this. Hey, thank y'all for stopping by camp. And what are we talking about today? Something that I have probably cooked thousands and thousands of pounds of, and that is what? Chicken fried steak. Now, a lot of y'all might have found our channel really originally from the Cowboy Coffee and the chicken fried steak. Hey, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, if you wanna go back and look, I done beat Bobby Flay when he come into camp thinking that he knew how to fix a better chicken fried steak than I did. But folks, we're in New Mexico now. We got to dial it up a little and tune it in what we're talking about. Chicken fried steak with a green chili gravy. Oh my gosh. I mean, ain't that a wonderful title? I mean, just think about it. Chicken fried steak with green chili gravy poured over the top of it. This is a holiday. Step one, husband trainer meat mallet. And step two, good piece of meat. Now, when I'm talking about chicken fried steak, first of all, this weighs nearly 5 ounces. That's what I'm after. I don't want a little old bitty piece of 3 ounces of meat that you couldn't see when you covered it up with gravy. Now, I've used top round, bottom round. Now, I really prefer bottom round. I think it has a little more flavor to me. I could be wrong, but that's just me. But hey, I have used a New York strip in a tight, cut the fat rind off of it, flatten it out. It makes a great chicken fried steak. So when you go up there to the butcher and you look across all them shelves and you're wanting a piece of chicken fried steak meat, that's something that's already been cubed. Now, what are we talking about cubing? Well, they've got this little rotary deal that's got all these little teeth on it, and they run it through there and it tenderizes it. They'll run it through again. I like to do them 3 times, and they'll come out, they'll be bigger around, and they'll be really tender. So, but if you can't find that, get you about a 5 ounce piece of that bottom round or top. Now, when you look at this one and you see there's not a lot of gristle running across here and everywhere, it's got a little fat rind across the edges on the outside, which we will trim off. And that is pretty easy to do with a sharp knife. And if you've got puppies in camp, they will be proud that you did, because this is gonna make about 3 bites right here, Mage. So it's time to tenderize. Now, many years ago when I was a child and I'd watch my mother or my grandmother, and they would just take the edge of a plate and just beat it on there like that. But I'm liking one of these right here. So we're going to tenderize it, which is going to make it a little bigger because we're flattening it out a little, but we don't want it jerky thin. We'll probably try to keep it, I'd say, nearly a 1/2 inch thick. So we're going to go to working on it. When you're talking about chicken fried steak, when I used to cater so many years ago, people that never heard of it would come up there and say, are we eating chicken or are we eating steak? Well, to chicken fry something really means to batter a piece of meat to make it appear bigger than what it is and to give it a really good crust. Now, my dad used to say back during the Depression, they'd deep fry jackrabbit like that, and they would batter it to where it was a bigger piece of meat. Now, the meat might have stayed the same, but you had a big old layer of crust that really tasted pretty good on them hungry days. It did. But you got to have something that's really going to bind to it well, but also give it a little pop in the dry ingredients as well. And we're going to start with 2 cups of all-purpose flour. If that's all right, Magey. Does that suit you? Okay. He said that'll work. Now, something that makes flour adhere to meat better, cornstarch. How many of you know there is many uses for cornstarch, but one of the best uses that there ever was on a ranch was a cowboy would come in like this. First day been riding in an old wet saddle, and he'd say, hey, Cookie, I'm pretty well galded and I need something. And I'd say, got what it is right here. Takes a place of baby powder. We always use cornstarch. So we're going to add about, I'd say that much. To that, we want this crust to be able to pop a little too. So a little baking powder. We'll shake some of that in there. And then, what did I beat Bobby Flay with? Our original seasoning. Now, if you don't have that and you're really wanting to make this for supper tonight, salt, pepper, a little garlic powder, you'll be fixed up. So we're just going to take the lid off of it, Mage. Put her in here. I'd say about that much. And let's go ahead and get that mixed up well. Time to mix up the wet. And to me, if you're deep frying something and you need a wet ingredient, buttermilk is the place to start.
And why is that?
Well, it's thicker, and I think it just has a little more acid into it. When you get it all tied together, all the flavors just blend really well. Now, we got to have some hen fruit or cackleberries, 2 of them. And if you can get fresh eggs for this, it's even better. Them old yellers be good and dark. Don't get no better than that. We're going to steal this whisk just a minute. Get that mixed up. Lou, do you like eggs and buttermilk? Huh? Baking powder was in there, but baking powder going in here as well. That way we can know that things is going to take place. So let me get her stirred up. Now I'm fixing to give you that tip to make this the extra crispy goodness that you want on a chicken fried steak. But folks, this will also work on anything that you're going to batter and deep fry, from chicken to chicken fried steak to any wild game that you might want to do. And the trick is, remember the wet that we mixed up? We're going to take about 1/2 cup of that and pour it in the dry and mix it. What's that going to do? It's going to make for some big old pieces of that batter that are going to hang off there and get that really crispy stuff. You'd be thinking we done covered it up with cornflakes and run a torch across it. This will be crispy. Glove up, folks, because you're going to make a mess. Take that chicken fried meat that you have tenderized, dip it down in the wet, bring it up, shake it off there a little, let it just sort of run off. Into the dry it goes, coat it really well. If you need to, give it a little patting with your hand. Pull it up here, shake the excess off, and folks, remember, we double baptizing. Back in the wet it goes, back to the dry, coat it really well. Then, a must-have, you gotta have a wire rack, set that on there, and let it set for at least 5 minutes. That's what helps that flour and everything adhere to that meat even better. Now remember, that meat has been sitting out there for like 5 minutes, so it's maybe warmed up a little, but not much. So when that first one goes in, it's going to shock it just a little. That's why I like to start a little above 350 degrees and get you a good high temp oil that you're going to use, because you don't want to smoke it, you don't want to burn it. So I try to use something that's got a 400-degree smoke point most of the time when I'm deep frying. Some of the best oil I ever had in my life, and it's when we were catering so much and doing 400 and 500 chicken fries at a time. And I got these big old basket deep fryers, and I used a creamy fry oil from Sam's, come in a 3-gallon container. And folks, I could get 4 or 5 cookings out of it because you could screen it when you got through. When you start to deep fry these, just gently lay that meat down in there, or use some tongs to put it in there with, and it's going to be really fast right there at the first. You're going to see all that bubbling come up. But folks, these are probably going to cook about 2 minutes aside, 2.5 at the most. You can flip it, but don't flip it too quick. Let that bottom crust sort of set up that's in the deepest part of that grease. Then roll it over. You'll be to see that good golden brown color. That's what we want on both sides. Pick it up out of there, let it drain, put it back on that wire rack, and then it's time to make gravy. That is the second prettiest thing I've ever seen, Shan being the first, but that thing is so crispy. We might just turn the camera off and I'll go ahead and eat it. Now, when I made so many of them catering 400 or 500, I had tips and tricks that I used to keep them crispy, because if you cover them up, put a lid on them, they sweat, then the crust falls off, and it ain't no good, because nobody likes a soggy chicken fried steak, I promise you. But say you're doing 10 or 12 at home, all the kids have come in, they got everybody with them, and you want to keep them crispy. Preheat that oven to 170 degrees. Now you can use a full pan that you've got, lay you some paper towels in the bottom, go over to your bread sack, get you 1 slice of bread, put it up against the end of that full pan, put your chicken fried steak to it, then another piece of bread. Any moisture that's there, that bread is going to adhere it and it's going to take it away from it, but they're going to stay crispy. You're just stacking them in there like cards. Never stack them one on top of another. That's just going to make for something soggy and messy. Always stack them with a piece of bread between them. They'll stay crispy as long as you need them to. The next most important thing to a crispy crust on a chicken fried steak is Frank Sinatra smooth gravy all over the top. And I'm going to show you how to make it right now. Got my skillet sort of preheated here. First, we're gonna go ahead and have 1 tablespoon of butter. But folks, when you're frying with something, and I do know that bacon grease makes good gravy, but we just got through frying that chicken fry, so we're gonna just take some of that grease and put in there, which is about that much. One of the most important things you can have when you're making gravy is a spatula, got some holes in it of some sort, so where you can do some really serious mashing. So we have got that in there. Next comes flour. I wished I had my sifter out here, but I don't, so we just gonna shake her in there lightly. We are. You gotta have a base for that gravy. Now, I have made gravy forever and ever. And when I was on ranch, I'd make it in them big old 20-inch skillets. But you can see, to me, really, when you get that butter in a gravy, it just gives it that rich golden color that I'm after. And we're just gonna let that sit there and mind its business for a little bit. You can see this is browned up here just a little, so we're gonna turn the fire off because it's got hot. Now, making gravy on ranches, I use canned milk most of the time, and y'all have seen me make gravy that way. But when I'm usually doing chicken fried steak, like for me and Shan, or maybe just for a handful of people, I love to use heavy cream. Now, we're gonna put 2 cups in there, and when that cold hits that, folks, it's just gonna go to try to thicken it up real quick. It is, and clabbered, and it's gonna try to thicken up, and it's gonna try to make some knots in there if you ain't careful, and that's where you're gonna get some of them lumps. So, we'll get that other one in there, but you can use whole milk. You can use canned milk, whatever you think you want to put in it, just don't do it with buttermilk. I don't think buttermilk makes good gravy. Now, when I was in New York City cooking for some folks one time, and we made a bunch of gravy for the Women's Culinary Association, they called it white sauce. They didn't know what it was. They said they never had white gravy where they lived. They always have brown gravy. This is what I grew up on, is white gravy. And folks, when you can be out here in New Mexico and you can take some fresh green chili right here from the Hatch Valley and put it in there with it, I don't think that anything would get any better than this. And you put as little or as much as you want. Me, I think that's about the right amount. It's not really going to change the color. It's not going to be green gravy, but you're going to see it in there. And look at that thickness. It's already taken place. That there will stay on a chicken fry. But folks, I got to season it just a tad, and I got to taste it to see what's happening. So we're going to give it a little taste first. Them green chilies is shining through. Need a little seasoning. I'm going to use our original. You can use black pepper and salt. So we're just going to give it a little shake here. And that is good gravy. Before we cover that beautiful masterpiece up with gravy, I want y'all to hear this. I mean, look at them crumbs falling off of there. That is a crispy chicken fried steak. Y'all heard of the Blue Plate Special? We done created the extra special Blue Plate Special right here. Folks, this is a masterpiece of design here. Chicken fried steak, the gravy with the green chili, got that crispiness to it. First thing I'm gonna do is I just want a piece without any gravy. I want you to look here. See how thick, I want you to pull this batter off her. See how thick that is right there? Listen to this. The crunch that was heard around the world that Paul Revere shouting to everybody about. Now I'm gonna taste this meat. So tender, so much flavor. But if it's traditional chicken fried steak in my country, it's gotta have some gravy on it. So we're gonna cut this piece off. Some of the gravy tried to leave me. It tried to leave me again. Major, give it up for chicken fried, Major. Give it up, give it up, give it up. Woo! I hope y'all enjoyed this, because folks, really this is a classic meal that I have fixed so many times on ranches. But grew up with it. I changed it through the years to make it a better crust on there, to make it extra crispy. But it is with pride, honor, and privilege that I tip my hat to all the servicemen and women and all the veterans that have kept that old flag of flying over camp. We commend you all. Rest of you, come on up in here really quick. I'm gonna give you what? A chicken fried steak hug. God bless you, each and every one, and I'll see you down the chicken fried steak green chili gravy trail. Dooker, you've been napping over there. I don't think you actually been working much. Lulu, you're gonna have to come get it. I'm not bringing it to you. Lou. Lou. Oh, come on, Lou.
Sadie.
Are you off the clock? There we go.